Hello minions, Munchmo, back with more Kerbal Space Program, and I'm going to take a look at my tracking center because I have, okay, we still have a cutie pie too. Okay, I see it. Show him the stuff on the planets. Forgot about that. Okay. I want to take a look at my outer explorer, see where this thing is, and see if it's going to come in contact with anything real quick here. Just because... Nope, no encounters coming. Okay, that's fine. Let's head on out and let's get started. We're going to start by making us a ship. Yep, you heard it, right? So, this is... Actually, let's go back to the tracking station real quick. And let's do this here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading over here to Jool. And looking at Jool here, you'll see there are a lot of moons. We got Paul, Bop, Tylo, Vol, and Lath. And then, of course, we've got Jool itself, which is a gas giant. And what I need to do is I need to design a ship or ships to get me there and to have things happen. So, the first thing I want to do is we're going to just put together a pretty simple, easy ship and see if we can't get this thing set up in such a way to allow us to have like a fuel depot over there or something. So this is going to be a very simple unmanned lander. Not a lander at all. A simple unmanned craft. So I'm not going to put a whole lot into it. More than just a... Oh, look at this. We got the tiny engines now too. Sweet. Man, we got a lot of stuff to play with now. So yeah, anyway, we're just going to start here with some big things. Some big ideas and stuff. So we got that is going to be our main central tank. And oh, look at all these goodies. Yes. We're going to put the quad adapter down there. Some big old... Oh, you got to put these 4 times. Right there. Look at that. That is what I wanted to be able to do right there. Awesome. So we got that. Look at this. We got a little 4-way multi-point adapter thing. And oh, so many good toys to play with now. No new aerodynamics. I think we might have something new here. I don't. Maybe not. Okay, we're going to slap on a couple of big batteries like so, because we're going to need a lot of power on this thing. We're not going to bother throwing any science on it because there's no real point. I'm going to take my... Oops. I'm going to take my wide BOT and mainsail and slap that sucker on there like so. Good. We'll take the mainsails off and we're going to do the exact same thing on this as we did on the other one. And we're going to pop that puppy on there and give that these things. That way we have a lot of these really efficient engines. Oops. Really efficient engines going on here. Why won't you... Please? Okay, one last one. I hate when it does this. It's like there's no reason for it not to work. Okay, there we go. So, I just want to tell you guys, I am really excited for the upcoming stuff that's going to be happening here. Who is this? Oscar B fuel tank. Oh, that thing's tiny. Oh, I'm so happy to have the tiny tanks. And then we've got the toroidal tanks. Anyway, sorry. So I am really, really happy for what's coming. Okay, I want to do something a little bit different here. We're going to flip this thing over and put it on top. And then we're going to drop... This is the... Oh, that's the big Clampatron. Huh. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this down to 1 times. And, do something kind of like this. And then put the big Clampatrons on the other side here. Just because I don't know exactly how I'm going to design my other crafts. And this is going to be kind of like a fuel depot. So I want to be able to have different shapes and sizes of crafts to dock up with this thing. So this will allow the small docking and the large docking to come in here. Voila. Okay, so that is my outer stage. I also need to throw in something like this for fuel to be able to go from the outer tanks to the inner tank, because eventually the outer tanks will drop, but the inner tank will still be full that way. We need to add some structure, struts here, of course, to keep this thing together. And if we put it here, did that go where I wanted it to go? I don't know for sure if it did. I hope so. And that does not look quite the way I wanted it to. Okay, let's try again here. Getting a little bit more picky about my structural integrity thing. So yeah, there's an upcoming, I don't know how you describe it exactly. It's not a patch. It's not exactly a DLC. It's, I guess, more of an expansion. The ARM, which is the Asteroid Reclamation Mission, which will allow you to go out and grab asteroids and bring them back into Kerbal orbit. And it just seems like it's going to be so much fun, and I cannot wait for it. It should be coming sometime really soon, and it may actually be coming so soon that before this little series is over, you'll actually get to see it. So, yeah. I don't know exactly what to expect from it, but I think that will be pretty awesome. Plus, it'll add some functionality to the game that is going to be kind of cool because, oh yeah, we need solar panels. Let's grab our... Let's see, I want the 1x6. I don't understand the difference between this and this. Alternate configuration. Okay. We're going to drop this one just because it's a lot lighter. And we'll go like that. And I'm also going to stick these on here. Stick some of these here like so, just so we have some extra panels that we don't have to open. Let's go to our action bar, our action thing. I've decided I'm always going to be putting solar panels on number 1. And then if I ever, from here on out, whenever I put parachutes, I'm going to put parachutes on a different number altogether. I think 0. That way, if I ever need to activate a parachute, I just hit the 0 button instead of waiting for staging, because sometimes staging can cause problems. Okay, so now we've got this thing almost put together, and this is going to be hopefully... Oh, you know, I just realized another big mistake I almost made there. I put the docking ports on this thing, but I didn't put any docking ports on this. So we're going to throw down one of these, just like that. Actually, let me see where my... You know what? Let's take this and let's move it down here. Let's put the docking clamp on the center of mass. That way, if we do have to push it, we're pretty likely to... Of course, it may not be the same without these outside edges on, so let's see where the outside center of mass is. Okay, that's pretty close. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Hit Control-Z. It should just completely undo. There we go. Perfect. Oh, it actually undid removing this and moving that down. That's kind of weird, but okay. Put it up just a little bit like that. Okay, that way if we stick onto the side of it, we'll be at the center of mass so we can push it without it adjusting our trajectory too much. So this is going to be the fuel dump. Fuel dump 1, because there might be another iteration after this. Now we need to add stages to take off, which, of course, this is going to be asparagus staging here. We're just going to go with the big old orange tanks, because why not? We add them one stage at a time, and we do all our strutting and stuff first. That way we don't mess up the order of things. So we go here, we throw on our fuel lines. Always go from the outer to the inner when we're doing this, because that's the way it works. We add some structure here like this, connecting it to its buddy, because the structural stability, oh, that's another thing that's going to be changing in with the upcoming release of ARM, is things are going to be a lot more stable, because they have to be if you're going to be pushing friggin' crafts around. Okay, so these are these guys, so that's the right staging, and then we do this again with the wide BOT, like so. I hope I get this right. Like about there. Is that the right angle? I think, oh, somebody's texting me. Of course somebody's texting me. Somebody's always texting me. Now again, we go from the newest stage to the next newest stage, like this, so it connects across that way. You see, because this is the stage we drop first. We take all of our engines, and we put them all in the stage together, and we verify. This is the first stage drop, this is the second stage drop. And then we strut it all up, and we keep doing this until we have enough engines and juice to get us where we're going. For this, I'm mostly looking just to get us outside of the atmosphere, which is going to take a lot of juice. Please get back in there. Okay, did the strut stay? No, we lost this strut, which is fine. We have our staging still, which is perfectly acceptable. But yeah, so supposedly the stability of crafts and stuff are going to stick together a lot better with the upcoming ARM stuff, because obviously the crafts have to be able to stay together to be able to push and pull a giant asteroid. But I'm really excited about that. I think that there's actually a version available for YouTubers, for like the big guys. Unfortunately, I'm not a big guy, so I don't get to play with it. But that's really cool, because that means that it's pretty close to release, and it's just kind of in testing and stuff. Alright, so there we go. That looks about even, I think. These guys here are... Are they at the same angle? I can't tell. They look square. So that looks okay. We're going to save the fuel dump, and we're just going to go ahead and test it here. Since this is an unmanned rocket, we can just do our testing pretty easily and see what happens. And if we have any issues, we can just pull it apart. Come on. Come on. I don't know why it does that. Okay. There. Save that. And let's just go launch and see what happens. I probably won't get into orbit, but that's really all I need for it to do, because there's so many of those nuclear engines. As long as I can get into orbit, those nuclear engines can get me where I'm going. So yeah. You ready for this? Is it going to fall apart? It did not fall apart. So we're just going to throttle all the way up. So you can see we have all 8 of our big engines there, and then we've got these things going at once. Hit for the SAS, and just blast off. Holy crap, this thing is moving pretty quick. I realized a couple of things that I already made a mistake, so if this doesn't work, a couple of things I can do to improve the process is to add some inline reaction wheels on these outer tanks. So you can see 4 of our engines are about to drop. I realize this is not going to get me into orbit. Not going to get me into orbit at all. But here we go. We drop that. Those guys go by. We keep moving. At this point, we become a little bit unstable because we've got some weird curvature going on. So if I probably should strut between this tank and this tank, because there's some flexing going on in here which is causing the spin. So far, this actually seems to be slightly stable other than the spin. Also, the addition of the inline reaction wheels might improve and stop the spin from happening. So we're going to go ahead and just revert the flight, because that is not going to work very well. We'll add some struts and some inline reaction wheels, and that might just fix this, and it still might get us into orbit, because if you looked at how much fuel we still had a good amount. So here we go to control, hit that button once. We're going to use the inline reaction wheels, the small one, because we don't need to use as much power as these big ones use. Plus they add a lot more weight. We just need a little bit of extra torque on this thing, because you can see this is a 0.3 and that's 0.2. So each one of these is a little bit less. Oh wait, actually this thing had more. What? Huh, okay, so I'm totally wrong. I did not realize that the bigger ones are actually better. They have just the same amount of torque and stuff. They use the same amount of charge. Huh. But they're lighter. Well, that is amazing. You learn something new every day. So we'll go ahead and save that. And now we need to strut between these tanks here, because this stage is going to go ahead and drop, and we'll go ahead and put our strut there like that. Now, because we did that, we also got to do the bottom. So we will go ahead and throw the bottom one down about here to about there. Now, hopefully those struts won't cause us an imbalance, because this one isn't strutted there. But it should be okay. So we'll hit that save button again, and we will give this another shot. I'm hoping that the mixture of adding the struts there and the advanced SAS will allow me to just take off smoothly. But there's no way to know if I'll even get into orbit. I'm just hoping I will. Turn that SAS on, throttle all the way up, and hit the button. And let's see what she does. As you can see, we just burned through fuel on this first stage pretty quick because all of our engines are using fuel from twice as many thingies. I realize that part of the problem with this design is these nuclear engines aren't going, which actually gives us a little less thrust, but they're not really something that you want to use to take off to begin with anyway, so even though they'll give you a little bit more thrust and they're really fuel efficient even in the atmosphere, I think, although they might not be as fuel efficient as the mainsails in the atmosphere, I'm not really sure. But check it out, as you can see we are a lot more stable now. Once we drop those engines, our fuel stops dropping like half as fast, but this still is probably not going to be enough to get us into orbit, so we're going to have to add at least another layer of tanks on here. Maybe even increase the, oh, we're spinning now, but only slightly. A lot better than before. So the addition of the struts here to stabilize this, and the SAS to counteract that extra spin, seems to be pretty good. So you can see though, we used about half this tank so far. We're almost to our gravity turn, which do about a 10K turn to the east at about 15-20 degrees, and that is the point at which we start our spin again. Now mind you, my staging is a little bit messed up here because as soon as I drop the stage, my engines weren't going to fire in the middle there, but this will not get us going. See, if you watch here, I'm going to drop the stage and then these things take off and we just are losing speed like crazy, even with all of those burning as fast and hard as they can. Of course, at the same time, these things are going to totally overheat because they do that a lot. See, look at them go. Look at them go. Oh my god, I don't want them to blow up though, so I need to throttle down a bit so that they don't overheat. And we're just going to keep losing speed and losing speed and losing speed. Our apoapsis is still going up, but this is not going to get us into orbit. Eventually, we'll probably just crash back down on our planet because the speed just keeps dropping. So we have to drop another stage or two onto this and an outer ring, maybe some more fuel on that as well. So we're just going to go ahead and revert the flight instead of waiting for us to crash down. And this is basically the craft design process that I go through when I'm starting here. A lot of times you guys don't see it because, you know, just because. Another thing I think I want to do here, maybe, I probably don't need. I was thinking of throwing some more SASs on the inner stages, but let's go ahead and start by increasing the fuel on these guys here. Okay, I hate when it does that. Okay, so we got that. We got that. And let's throw our SAS back on there. No control. There we go. Oh, not that one. So used to using that one, and I realized it's not the one to use anymore. Of course, I learned it by watching somebody else do it, so, you know. Okay, so now comes the tricky part of designing this thing in a way that will work properly. So, because now the inner stages are the easier ones. Going outside is where it gets harder. So the first thing I want to do is throw one here, right? Because this one is going to go towards this one. And then next stage up, I don't know where it's going to go exactly. Maybe we shouldn't put it there. Maybe we should put it kind of here-ish. Let's go down like this. We want it kind of in line with the other one, which, is there even a way to do that? How about that? Is that kind of, that's not quite in line with the center. Ooh, I might need to turn off the angle snap. That'll be interesting. I've never really tried to build a craft without angle snap. And it might make it really, really, really imbalanced, but I'm hoping I can actually get it to work right here. So there's that one. That seems mostly in line there. And then we want to do the same thing here on this one. And see if maybe I can get this lined up just right. Why does it do that? I don't want it to angle snap. It's not supposed to angle snap. Hello? Why are you trying to do it like that? That is so weird. Let me try a different edge. See if maybe that makes a small difference at all. Oh my god, what the heck? It's like right where I want to put it, I can't because of this weird angle snap thing. I hope that's good, but that's not... Huh, I don't know, that might work. But anyway, so now that we've done that, we need to increase more tanks. Boop. More tanks over here. There we go. Larger outer tanks, we're good to go. Now we need to add some more struts. So this is the next stage to go. We throw our things down here. We add another stage. Okay, so which one is this one? That one, so it's these guys here, I hope. So you notice how sometimes you get a single thing here and then 3 others there. I don't know why it does that, but there's kind of an easy way to fix it. Although it can be a bit of a nuisance sometimes. Oh yeah, let's put our angle snap back on because there's no reason not to have it on anymore. If you do something and then you undo it, that will usually allow it to, it'll fix what it's done there with the things and stuff. Okay, there we go. So we got that. Now we just need to strut this thing up. So let's get strutting. Struts is under structural. Okay, and I'll go ahead and do this off camera for this, since you guys understand how I do it. I'll see you when we're ready to launch again. Here we are, back on the launch pad with the extra stages strutted up and everything. They look mostly straight. I don't know for sure if they are, though. I'm really hopeful that this works out okay. So we're just going to go ahead and launch here after turning our SAS on and see how this thing goes. We have a lot of fuel on the first stages. We'll drop this tank set first, then this tank set, then this tank set, then this tank set, and then we'll have just these 5 in the middle, which eventually 4 of them will drop. Now, I have talked before about symmetry, and I am working with 4 times symmetry instead of 3 times, even though 3 times might be easier for something like this. Also, it could be beneficial to use separatrons here, but so far we don't seem to be having any issues with it. Sometimes with these things, without separatrons, you'll get a little bit of spin caused by the detaching, but it seems to be doing okay now. This looks like it might actually get us into orbit. I'm hopeful, at least, that it will. And drop those, and then we back down to this stage. Got a little bit of spin going on, but we have more than enough of this advanced SAS to counteract that little bit, and we know that the rest of the stage should be able to handle it okay, because we've put this thing through its own test. And now it's time to gravity turn at 10,000, get it down to about here. Oh, we got a bit of spin that we're fighting on this turn. That kind of sucks. We're already on the line, so we might be okay. And once we drop this stage, the spin should maybe go in the other direction. Holy crap, why are we spinning so bad? That's okay. We're not getting off course much, so we should be fine. Drop those tanks. Here we go. Let's fight that spin a little bit here. The buttons and such. There we go. Okay, there we go. We lost the spin. Now we're spinning the other direction a little bit. And come on, fight that spin. Here we go. Get on target better here. Not too far off course either. Let's take a look at our 38K, 40 kilometers already, and we still have all this fuel. Amazing. Now, if only this is enough to get us into orbit. It's possible it might not be, But we'll see. Once we get this thing up over about 75k, because the atmosphere, I think, extends to about 70,000 meters. Although, honestly, I can't say I've ever actually looked that up to see for sure. So I'm hopeful. I mean, it could be shorter than that, but I like to go to 70 to 75k just to be on the safe side. And bam. Okay. At that point, oh, we have very little fuel left. Hopefully this will be enough to get us into orbit. At this point, we can correct for our spin and get back on target here. Oh, this thing is a very, very big lumbering beast, it seems. But, okay, on the line. We get on the line at the 90-degree mark, which is east. Holy crap, this thing is heavy to move. We're actually below the line now. Come on, up, up. Okay, good. And then doesn't matter to spin it, but I like having it spun in a specific direction so that I know which way is which. Okay, here we go. And once you get within about here, you can start your burn a little bit. I tend to like to start a little low until it gets to the point where it's about 30 seconds, and then this number for the T- doesn't continue going down or up. Of course, I have to watch my fuel because I might lose this stage before it's too late. You want to stay at around your retrograde marker. See, right now we're losing time for our apoapsis slowly, so that's about perfect. Of course, you can do this different ways. You can just do one giant burn, or you can do a long, slow burn. I prefer the long, slow burn because then in my experience at least, it tends to be a little bit more accurate. Uh-oh, our fuel tanks are gone. Drop those tanks. And push out with these. And hopefully we can... I don't think we're going to be able to get in orbit with this. I don't think we got enough oomph from these engines. So we still have to do more. Wow, okay. Alright, yeah, that's not working. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to replace the tanks here, boop, and boop, with larger tanks, like the 32s, like this, and I'll do the same with these little guys with the 16s, if I can get them in place. Okay. Seriously? Thank you. And hopefully this will be enough fuel and power to get us to lift off here. Oh, come on. There we go. I'm going to stick our SASs back on there and add some more strutting here because we lost those struts. Wrong it. Okay. And yep, I'll go ahead and do that and see you in a moment. So after a few more bits of trial and error, this is what I've come up with here. Added an extra couple stages on the outside, bigger tanks, all that stuff. We're going to go ahead and just try and see if it takes off. So you did a lot of flexing when I first loaded into the launch pad. I haven't tested this yet. I'm hoping my staging is correct. It does seem a little bit wonky with the angles on some of these tanks, but I'm really hoping it's okay. As you can see, though, we are... Actually, we might be going too fast. Let's throttle down a little bit, because we don't want to be fighting the atmosphere. Although I doubt that's going to happen. Oh, plus we're going to overheat, so that's a good thing. We don't want to overheat. Alright, I'm going to try getting this thing in orbit now, and I will see you when we do. Bye-bye, first stage of giant tanks. Here we are, finishing our burn to circularize the orbit. It was a little touch and go there. I actually had to engage my nuclear engines. Luckily, again, they're set up in such a way that they're draining from these outer tanks. So that technically the inner stage is completely full still, as you can see. Fuel full. These are the ones that are missing fuel. This tank's completely gone. But yeah, we got this thing into orbit, which is great, but very, very problematic. So I'm happy that we got here, though. We still have fuel in these stages, which means we still have these mainsails to help us get to our destination. But that is actually it for this episode. As I said before, this is going to be kind of more of a tutorial series, sort of, on how to do things. If I missed anything or you don't understand any of the concepts that I used in this video, please leave me comments and I will see what I can do about explaining it or whatnot. Next time I will work on, actually off camera, I'll work on getting some more stuff in orbit, maybe another one of these possibly. Don't know for sure, and we'll start out by getting ourselves figured out how to get this to here, Tylo, Vol, Jool, etc. And maybe we'll go into the design of another craft. I don't know. We'll see. But this is our main like liftoff stage. So what we can actually do is if we wanted to, we can use this as a base and replace this little thing here with whatever we're going to stick on top of it. So that will be useful, and I will show you what we do with that in the future. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.